Dear sisters and brothers, Achyotai ve'Echai, from the President's residence in Jerusalem, to you all, Jewish communities anywhere, everywhere, I want to send my warmest wishes.
In a passionate address to the Knesset, an Israeli lawmaker drew stark parallels between the historical suffering of the Biafran people in Nigeria and the Jewish Holocaust, urging Israel's foreign ministry to elevate the issue on global platforms. The debate, centered on the southeastern Nigerian region historically known as Biafra, home to the Igbo ethnic group, highlighted ongoing allegations of persecution, displacement, and violence, while the government response emphasized diplomatic caution and respect for Nigerian sovereignty. The discussion was initiated by member of Knesset, MK Yaakov Margi, who proposed adding the topic to the parliamentary agenda. Recalling the Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, often referred to as the Biafran War, Margi described haunting images from the era that shook the world's conscience in the 1960s. He noted the international symbol of starvation embodied by children with swollen bellies due to kwashiorkor, a severe form of malnutrition caused by the blockade imposed by Nigerian forces. Despite global outrage, Margi lamented, the world continued to remain silent, and the siege continued until their surrender. Margi presented staggering figures to underscore the scale of the tragedy. An estimated 2.5 million Biafrans killed since the war's end, totaling around 6 million deaths over the decades. 6 million. A chilling, shocking number that reminds us of something of what we went through as Jews, he exclaimed, evoking the Holocaust's death toll. He argued that this number shakes the heart and the foundations, compelling a Jewish moral imperative to act. Turning to contemporary issues, Margi painted a dire picture of escalating threats in the region. He accused extremist Muslim groups from northern Nigeria of invading.
Yesterday, the Biafran delegates visit the Israeli parliament, and there seems to be talks, preliminary about Biafra. What does this mean for you?
Well, before now, just a good news. Of course, that is being expected. A lot of people have been talking to nnamdikanu over why we have not been hearing much about the development after the Israeli Parliament KENESET passed a resolution. Out of 120 parliamentarians, 70 of them passed a resolution on Biafra recognition, awaiting the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's final endorsement of that resolution. But that notwithstanding, the Israeli Parliament or government also invited IPOB delegates, Biafran delegates, to Knesset a first sitting after absence or holiday for about 10 days or more. They actually came together, as you can see in that video. You can see IPOB Biafran representatives being part of the inner discussion on the way forward and what next for Biafra recognition by the Israeli government. It is a good development, yes. It reminds me of the unrelenting effort of the Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu to do the needful. Today, we can also tell you that, yes, we have seen the first Israeli Somalia ambassador being posted to Somaliland. The first country to have recognized Somaliland as a sovereign nation is Israel, followed by America. And they are telling you that Biafra is the next move in that regard. This thing does not actually concern the Nigerian government. It does not, because Nigeria and Israel seems to have a very deep reservation over the Nigerian government decision at the United Nations General Assembly to defend and encourage continuous attack by Hamas against the Jewish people of Israel. That actually did not go down well with the Israeli government in that regard. When the Vice President Shetima, came on the United Nations General Assembly and addressed the assembly for the Hamas to be recognized as to cohabit with Israel in Middle East there or in Israeli state, which Israel insisted that it is a threat. And based on that, we have seen Benjamin Netanyahu on several occasions determined and declared that the Igbo people of Nigeria, the Biafrans, are the lost tribe of Israel. And that position has been held up to this moment. Remember that immediately the U.S. government, has sent a certain signal to Sokoto, and the following day that the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, came online and told the Nigerian government that we cannot be folding our hands and watch Christians being killed in Nigeria. That the Israeli intervention is going to be drastically, unbelievable when they finally take a decision on what they want to do in Nigeria regarding the killing of Christians. And remember, of course, Judaism, Christianity is a product of Judaism, and all religion came from the Jewish Hebrew people, and I can tell you that. Then, that what we saw there yesterday was a very good development. As we are still looking at that angle, we are also seeing the United States Congress, still taking decision on Nigeria. These are two powerful nations now that nnamdikanu signal that the possibility of gaining Biafran solidarity and support at the end of the day. Today, the Knesset Parliament of Israel, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, held their first meeting with the delegates of Biafran delegates and Israeli IPOB lobbyists present in that hall, as you can see in that video. It tells you a lot of things that what is going on, and the continuation that the hope of restoring the first Jewish black nation, the first Jewish black nation, the first Jewish black nation, the first Jewish black nation on the soil of Africa is about to emerge. We are waiting, we are watching. The world have taken the recognition of the contribution of Biafrans all over the world. Like they will really say, if you go to anywhere in the world today, they will tell you what is happening in Nigeria. They will tell you who are who in Nigeria. And based on what the Igbo people stand for, as the only tribe in the whole wide world that are scattered all over the world, immediately after the indigenous people of every country, the next people you see there that are contributing, not only in Nigeria, not only in Lagos, all over the world. That's how they are, anywhere in the world. They contribute to civility, they contribute to advancement, they contribute to human development, they contribute to human resources. That is the Igbo, that is the Biafra the world is about to recognize any moment from now. The Israeli government are not hiding it. They are not afraid. They are not feeling double standard about it. They are doing it openly, directly under the knowledge of the federal government of Nigeria, for them to know that what is coming to Nigeria is inevitable. The breakup of Nigeria is inevitable. There's no two ways about it. We cannot continue to live in this calamity called unity. I maintain my position, and I maintain it holistically. Yes, the Biafra movement has attracted global attention. Today, unbelievably, Biafra is being discussed all over the world. Biafra is being discussed in Canada. Biafra is being discussed in Italy. Biafra is being discussed in Germany. Biafra is being discussed in Israel. Biafra is being discussed in the United States of America. Biafra is being discussed anywhere in the world. Biafra in Jerusalem. Biafra in Washington. Someone has said they be terrorists. Go and see them today, right there at the Knesset Parliament meeting. They deliberately invited Biafran delegates. before the major plenary section will commence. So that they will have a proper, modalities worked out properly about what is going to happen. Like nnamdikanu will say, you will sleep in Nigeria one day and wake up in Biafra. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Today, go and look at Hausa youths. They are referring to nnamdikanu. Some cerebral minds of Yoruba extraction are also celebrating nnamdikanu. Who will not celebrate nnamdikanu? Who is that person? Unless you're a demon. You don't believe in freedom. God is God of freedom. He said, go into the world and multiply. That's the word of God. He never restricted Adam for anything. Then how come that you have your own belief? I have my own belief, culture and tradition. You said no. Christianity is a religion of peace. And I want to also believe that Islam is a religion of peace. I want to believe that other religions too, including traditional worshippers, they believe in peace. Then how come extremism sets in globally and become a threat to civilization, become a threat to Western civilization, become a threat to humanity, become a threat to creation, God's creation? And you want us to be part of it. There's one thing the American government must understand, yes, very clearly. Mike Jackson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, United States of America, please, you got to do the needful. Sus Wills, the Chief of Staff to Donald Trump, you got to do the needful. I pray that you have recovered fully by now, because I learned that you were, somehow having health challenges, but God is going to revive you because you're a good woman. I want to celebrate Donald Trump for standing and handing over America again to God. I want to celebrate KENESET for defending the global peace. You might not understand what the presence of America means to the world today. What you are seeing is generational conquest that is ongoing. But I want to say today that Biafra, IPOB, is a resistance force. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Yes, we fought war for 3 years and there was a country, according to China. There was a country. And that country is still observing the instruments of the ceasefire. I keep on saying it. We are still observing the instrument of ceasefire. And it has gotten to that point that Nigeria can no longer answer the Biafran question. And that is why we are calling on global international community to recognize Biafra as a sovereign nation. Anybody that wants to die should go and die. It's as simple as that. If you believe that your ideology will lead you to death, that is your business. God created this earth and handed it over to humanity, to hand it over for man to die. The Bible said, dominate, explode, do exploits. What is the not contributing to the development of this country? What are the Muslims contributing to science and technology? Nothing. They're virtually not contributing anything. In terms of innovation, technology, the Muslim world are not contributing. Ceasing. Then they use the instrument God has given Christians to empower them to preach the gospel. They call it haram. They don't need phone, they are using phone. They don't need car, they are using car. They don't need AC, they are using AC. They don't need this one, they are using it. Bros, Owa Ubuwa Chuku. Owa Bu Owa Chuku does not belong to anybody. God owns this world. And if you feel that your own God has given you a certain mandate and faith Okay, go and do it in your own way, the way you like. And that is why I'm calling for disintegration of Nigeria. Nigeria was never amalgamated. Ab initio. If Nigeria was actually amalgamated, the lives of Awolowo would have been there, Azikiwe would have been there, Tafawa Balewa would have been there. They would have agreed. So how come Nigeria become a nation without Nigerians? And that is the question many people are asking today that has remained an unanswered question. An unanswered question. Nobody have answered that question to this moment. So I want to celebrate the Israeli parliament. I know, forget about the Nigerian elite, whatever they are preaching for you, whatever they are pretending. You can see recently, Bianco Duku was appointed foreign minister by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What is he going to foreign at the end of the day? It is a mockery. It's an attempt to mock the entire Igbo race. That the essence of freedom is not worth it. Remember, over 6 million Igbos were murdered during the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War. Just because of crude oil, according to the world. Can you imagine the calamity done by these people? On that too, they confiscated the properties of Igbos nationwide. Confiscated their money in the bank and gave them 20 naira. But today, the story is different. And that, I think they have gotten to that point that the world has recognized that the Biafrans are no threat to the world, are no threat to civilization. The Biafrans can never be threat to anybody. And that's what we are saying. Peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. Okay, there's no need that you stop preaching one Nigeria. There's nothing like one Nigeria. The options of restructuring failed. The options of confederation failed. Just because of crude oil. What of country that does not have crude oil? Have they not? Japan have crude oil. Why would you not kill 6 million people because of crude oil? You went ahead and denied Aburi Accord. Go on. And the world is not listening because it's not a white man. It's a black man affair. The AU is there. They are dumb. That's why Fela called them bad society. We will unite for United Nations. You saw what Fela was saying. Look at all the Fela songs. He never criticized Igbo for one day. Because he knew what was coming. He established Kalakuta Republic. Fela declared himself, he's not part of Nigeria, doesn't have anything to do with Nigeria. He said, my own republic is Kalakuta Republic. Do you know what is called Kalakuta? You can only find Kalakuta in India. As I'm standing here now, I can give you the story of Biafra, the first kingdom on earth. Before you say Bini Kingdom, oh Yoruba Kingdom, the first kingdom on earth. It's not an Igbo name. It is not a Portuguese name. Neither is it a British name. And I'm telling you that, you know, there is a beginning of everything. Every human being you have seen on earth here has started from Iraq. Every human being, including Yorubas, Hausa, name them, Oyibo, name them, all of them started from Iraq. There must be a traces. People copyright, people change, people rename. How come the Portuguese came and said, this is the bite of Biafra? Where did they get that name from? The name did not start from them. They are the first people that made the name public. And they started, they know that there were ancient Ethiopians. They called them ancient miners. They were Ethiopians. They shared the same battle with the Equatorial Guinea. They named those ancient Ethiopian miners Biafra. Now Portugal named them. Where did Portugal get that name from? The same Portugal named Lagos. I just want to give you an insight. So Biafra has something to do with divinity. Biafra has something to do with generations. Biafra has something to do with the beginning, the genesis of humanity. So to tell you where we are coming from, and God has said that if he can restore Jerusalem back in our eyes, in this generation, he can restore Biafra.